Italy. It's a country that just blends this incredible ancient academic heritage, Bologna, oldest university in the world,
Right.
with these really cutting-edge research hubs like Milan. It's definitely, well, the dream destination for so many students.
Absolutely. A huge draw.
But standing between you and that first amazing lecture is this one critical piece of paper, the Italy study visa.
Mm-hmm. The gatekeeper.
Welcome to the deep dive. We got this huge stack of articles, official guidelines, student experiences, all detailing what it takes for non-EU students to study long-term in Italy.
Yeah, quite a pile.
So our mission today is pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to extract the absolute must-knows, the requirements, the hidden costs, the paperwork, and maybe some expert strategies to actually get that visa, especially now with these tighter verification rules coming for 2025.
Right. That's a key change.
Think of this as your essential shortcut. We want you to be ready, not just, hopeful.
Okay, so first things first. Let's be really clear who this is for. If you're a student from outside the EU and you're planning to stay in Italy for more than 90 days.
Like for a full degree program.
Exactly. Bachelor's, master's, PhD. Then you're looking at the Type D national visa. That's our focus.
Why Type D specifically? I mean, is there a Type C? Do people get confused there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Type C is your short-term visa. Think maybe a summer language course, a quick research visit, less than 3 months.
Yeah.
Type D is the big one. It's for the long haul, your full academic program. And the mistake people make is thinking they can start on a Type C for, say, a short course and then just, switch to a degree program once they're in Italy.
Ah, that sounds like trouble.
It almost never works. You'll likely face major immigration headaches trying to convert it. So for degree students, it has to be Type D right from the start.
Got it. Type D it is.
And here's something really crucial, like the immediate thing you need to know. Getting the visa, that's just permission to enter Italy.
Okay, so it's not the end of the process.
So not at all. This trips so many people up. As soon as you land, literally within 8 working days, you must apply for your residence permit. That's the permesso di soggiorno.
8 working days. Wow, that's fast.
It is. The clock starts ticking the moment you arrive. That permit is what actually lets you live and study there legally long-term.
Okay, super important heads up right there. So let's rewind a bit. Before you even think about applying, what are the absolute baseline requirements? The non-negotiables.
Right, the foundations.
Right.
There are basically 4 key pillars you have to have in place.
Okay.
First, naturally, you need that official acceptance letter from a recognized Italian university or institution. Proof of why you're going.
Makes sense. Number 2.
Proof of sufficient funds. This is a big one. You need to show you can support yourself for your entire stay. The general figure everyone quotes is at least 6,000 euros per year for living costs.
At least 6,000. We'll dig into that number more, I bet.
Oh, definitely. Third, you need confirmed accommodation details in Italy. Where are you going to live?
Okay. Lease, dorm contract, something like that.
Exactly. And fourth, valid health insurance covering your entire stay.
Right. Let's pause on that 6,000 figure for funds.
Yeah.
Just seeing that number isn't always helpful, is it? How do they actually check this? Can you just, get a loan deposited the week before your appointment?
Absolutely not. That's a huge mistake. And with the verification getting tighter for 2025, they're really scrutinizing this.
How so?
They want stability, consistency. You typically need to provide detailed bank statements, often for the last 3 to 6 months. It depends a bit on the consulate showing that money has been yours, accessible for a while.
Oh, okay.
Sudden, large deposits right before you apply. Massive red flag. It looks like you borrowed the money just for the visa, and that often leads to delays or even denial. They want to see genuine, transparent financials. Planned savings, basically.
That makes total sense. Proof of planning, not just a last-minute scramble.
Okay.
And the fourth pillar, insurance. You mentioned it needs to be valid, but our sources highlighted a specific detail.
Yes, this trips people up too. Your health insurance absolutely must provide minimum coverage of 30,000 euro.
30,000 euros. Okay.
And critically, it has to be valid across the entire Schengen area, not just Italy. Students sometimes buy basic travel insurance, but if it doesn't hit that 30K threshold and specifies Schengen-wide coverage, it will get rejected. Then you're back to square one, reapplying, losing time and money.
Got it. 30K minimum Schengen-wide. Good details. So once you've confirmed you meet these basic eligibility points, you face the inevitable costs. What are we talking about roughly for the actual application process?
Well, the bureaucratic fees themselves aren't usually astronomical. The visa fee is typically around 50 to 60.
Oh, okay.
Then that residence permit, the permesso di soggiorno you apply for after arrival, that's usually between €70 and €100.
Right.
And the required annual health insurance, it's relatively modest, maybe 150 to €200 per year. The big variable cost, obviously, is your actual university tuition.
Right. That depends heavily on the institution. And speaking of variables, you mentioned something important earlier. Location matters, right?
Yeah.
Even within the same country.
Hugely important. Italy doesn't have just one central visa office for the whole world. Each embassy or consulate, say in India or Brazil or wherever you are, might have slightly different interpretations or requirements.
So the €6,000 financial proof might not be the exact rule everywhere.
Exactly. One source put it bluntly, each Italian consulate has its own rules for visas. Your local consulate might ask for a specific type of bank letter, or maybe they want to see those funds held for longer than 6 months. You must check the website of the specific consulate you'll be applying to. Don't rely on general advice alone.
Okay, solid advice. Check local requirements. Now, let's get into the paperwork. This is where things can get really tricky, right? The document gauntlet. Miss one thing, and you could face major delays.
Yeah, this is where organization is absolutely key. Let's run through the typical required stack. We can sort of tag team this.
That's good. Go ahead.
Okay, first, the absolute basics. Your passport. Needs to be valid, obviously. And crucially, it needs at least 6 months validity beyond your intended stay in Italy.
Okay, passport check. What else?
Then the specific visa stuff. The completed Type D visa application form, make sure it's the right one, and usually 2 recent passport-size photos meeting their specs.
Right. Then the big one.
The official letter of acceptance from your Italian university. Sometimes this needs to be notarized or even apostilled, depending on your home country's rules and Italy's requirements for it. Check that detail.
Good point. And often, proof you started paying.
Yes, exactly. Proof of tuition fee payment if your university requires a deposit or first installment before issuing the final acceptance or for the visa itself.
Okay. And back to money.
Yep, the financial documents we talked about, those bank statements showing consistent funds, or maybe an official sponsorship letter if someone else is funding your studies. Again, check what format your local consulate prefers.
All right. What else for logistics?
Proof of where you live. That accommodation proof could be a signed rental contract, a letter confirming university dorm booking, something concrete.
Okay.
And your travel plans. Usually copies of your flight reservations or at least a detailed itinerary showing your intended travel dates.
And don't forget.
The receipt. Proof you paid the visa application fee. Keep that safe.
Okay, that's a pretty hefty list of mandatory documents.
Yeah.
But what about going the extra mile? Are there other documents you can include to sort of boost your chances, optional but helpful things?
Definitely. These often relate to showing your academic seriousness and your ability to succeed. Think about things like your past academic transcripts and diplomas or certificates.
Makes sense. Proof you're qualified.
Exactly. Also, proof of language proficiency. If the course is in English, maybe IELTS or TOEFL scores. If it's an Italian relevant language certificate.
Okay. And you mentioned something earlier that seems really key here.
The statement of purpose. The SOP, yes. This is becoming increasingly important, I think.
Why is that? Is it just an essay?
Well, it can be treated like that, but it's a mistake. Especially with those tighter 2025 verification rules we mentioned. The ministry is looking closer not just at your money, but at your actual intent.
So consistency across everything matters more now.
Precisely. The SOP is your chance to tie everything together. Connect your past studies, why you chose this specific program in Italy, and what your realistic career goals are afterwards. It addresses that potential denial reason of unclear study purpose head on.
So it turns your application from a list of documents into a story.
A compelling, logical narrative, yes. And a pro tip here, related to documents.
Yeah.
Try to get key letters, especially that acceptance letter, in bilingual format, English and Italian if possible.
Why bilingual?
It just smooths the process. If the visa officer doesn't need to get a document officially translated or spend extra time verifying something purely in English, it speeds things up and reduces potential friction points. Makes their job easier, basically.
Smart. Okay, documents gathered, SOP polished. Now, the actual process, the timeline, this seems to be where a lot of the stress comes in.
Yeah.
Can we walk through the key steps, focusing on that timing?
Yeah, let's break it down. 5 main steps, roughly.
Okay, step 1.
Step 1, get accepted. Seems obvious, but you can't start the visa process without that official letter of admission from the university.
Right. Step 2.
Prepare. This is where you gather all those documents we just listed. Originals, copies, check everything for consistency. No conflicting dates or names.
Okay, burp done. Step 3.
Schedule your visa appointment. And do this early. You'll usually book through the Italian consulate's website or often through their official partner, VFS Global.
DFS Global?
Yeah, they handle the initial application intake and biometrics for many consulates around the world. They manage huge volumes, especially during student visa season, so booking slots fill up fast. Get in there early.
Got it. Book early via consulate or VFS. Step 4.
Submit. Attend your scheduled appointment. You'll submit your documents, they'll take your fingerprints and photo, that's the biometrics, and you'll pay the visa fee. Sometimes there's a short interview too.
Okay. And finally, step 5.
Wait, and then hopefully collect. The official processing time is stated as typically 15 to 45 days.
15 to 45 days. That range feels huge, especially if your course start date is getting close. What does early really mean in practice? When should students realistically aim to apply?
Right. That 45 days can feel like an eternity. The official advice might say apply 60 days before your course starts. But the expert consensus, especially considering the volume and the tighter checks, is much earlier. We're talking applying at least 3 months before your course begins. Minimum.
3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw research citing immigration experts like Dr. Lucia Romano, basically saying that students who start the process that early rarely hit major delays. The system can handle volume, but it struggles with last-minute rushes.
Is there data backing that up?
There is. One statistic was really striking. Students who submitted their applications before May for a September start had something like a 40% higher success rate, meaning fewer delays or issues compared to students who waited until June or July.
40%.
Oh!
That's massive. That's not a small edge.
It's huge. It's the difference between calm preparation and frantic panic.
Let's make that real. We looked at those 2 student case studies, Rohan Shetty versus Ankita Rao. How did timing affect them?
Yeah, great examples. Rohan, applying for Politecnico di Milano, started getting his documents ready way back in February for a September start.
Super early.
He submitted in early May, had time for minor corrections, and got his visa approved in just 18 days. Smooth sailing.
18 days. Nice. And Ankita?
Ankita waited. Applied late June.
Sure.
Not only was she rushed, but her bank statements weren't ideal, that issue of a recent large deposit.
The red flag.
Exactly. Her application took 47 days, required extra scrutiny because of the late application and the unclear financials. She apparently almost missed her orientation week entirely.
Wow. 18 days versus 47. That's the difference between arriving excited and arriving completely stressed out.
Totally. Which leads us neatly into, well, how to avoid that stress, how to avoid denial altogether. We've hit timing and finances, but what are the other common pitfalls? Why do applications get rejected?
Yeah, knowing the failure points helps you build a stronger application.
Okay, the top reasons tend to fall into about 5 categories. Number 1, just plain missing key documents, especially the proof of funds or maybe the correct insurance certificate.
Simple oversight, big consequence.
Okay. Number 2, having financial proof, but it's below the minimum requirement set by that specific local consulate. Remember, $6,000 going as a baseline, your consulate might want more.
Right, check local rules again.
Number 3, that fuzzy one, unclear study purpose. This means the visa officer isn't convinced your chosen course logically fits your background or your stated future plans. This is where a strong SOP really helps.
Okay, number 4.
Invalid travel insurance. Usually, it's either below the 30,000 coverage limit or it doesn't explicitly cover the whole Schengen area. Double-check the policy details.
Got it. And the last one.
Fake or unverified documents, especially the admission letter. With the tighter checks, consulates are cross-referencing with universities more often now. Everything must be genuine and verifiable.
Okay, so authenticity is paramount. Let's circle back to some practical advice, especially for the interview, if there is one, and proving that genuine intent. We saw a quote from an advisor, Marco Rossi.
Right. His point was, don't just memorize answers for the interview. Use your statement of purpose, which you wrote genuinely as your guide. Know why you chose that course, that university, even that city. Be ready to talk about it passionately and clearly.
Show you've done your homework, basically.
Exactly. Be informed, be confident, and again, on the finances, keep them transparent. Stability over sudden windfalls. If your bank account looks like it was created just for the visa, it invites suspicion.
Makes sense. Be prepared, be transparent, be genuine. Okay, last crucial point. You've jumped through all the hoops, visa is stamped, you've landed in Italy. What's that immediate, cannot forget step?
We mentioned it at the start, but it bears repeating because it's so critical. The permesso di soggiorno, residence permit.
Within.
Within 8 working days of your arrival, not calendar days, working days, you need to go to a designated post office, Poste Italiane, with Sportello Amico, or sometimes directly to the immigration office, Questura, to formally apply for it.
And failing to do this.
Big problems. Fines, potential difficulties renewing later, even theoretically deportation in extreme cases. The visa gets you in, the permesso lets you legally stay and study. Don't drop the ball on this final crucial step.
Okay, wow. That's a lot to take in, but super important. So let's try and boil this down. If someone listening is planning this journey, what are the absolute top 3 takeaways from our deep dive today?
Okay, top 3 actions. Number 1, start everything. Gathering documents, booking appointments way earlier than you think you need to. Aim for that 3-month window before your course starts. Leverage that 40% higher success rate. Don't wait.
Right. Early bird gets the visa. Number 2.
Get your finances rock solid and totally transparent. Make sure you meet or exceed that $6,000 annual minimum, check your local consulate's specific number, and show the money has been yours consistently over time. Avoid those last-minute suspicious deposits.
Solid finances, clear history. Got it. And number 3.
Don't forget the finish line. Immediately upon arrival in Italy, prioritize applying for that residence permit, the permesso di soggiorno, within those first 8 working days. That's the final legal step to secure your stay.
Perfect recap. Start early, solid finances, immediate permit application.
Exactly. And one of the sources made an interesting point. It said that successfully navigating this whole visa process, it's almost like your first real test abroad. It's proof you can handle complex international procedures calmly and efficiently.
That's an interesting frame. It's not just bureaucracy, it's a test of competence.
Kinda. Which leads to a final thought for you, the listener. If the visa process itself is seen as this demonstration of your planning and discipline, maybe applying early isn't just about avoiding delays. Maybe it's also about proving your commitment and readiness for the demands of studying abroad. What does the effort you put into your visa preparation signal about how ready you really are for academic life in Italy? Something to think about.